Alright, hi, I'm Duggan.
And I'm Lehrer. Thank you for coming out today. And we're going to show you our project that we've been working on all year. This is our LEED certified airport and resort in Bora Bora.
So before we begin, I want to give a brief resume of myself. So I attended Creekside Elementary School and then headed over to Liberty Middle School. Freshman year, I was in technical drawings with their combs where we used SolidWorks and SoftPlan. Then sophomore year, I skipped engineering design and went straight to architectural drawing with Mr. Ridland. Then junior year, I went to tech ed with Mr. Ridland as well. And then finally senior year, I'm here in senior projects. And in regards to my extracurricular activities, freshman year I played football and lacrosse. Sophomore year I played lacrosse as well as junior year. This year I'm doing unified basketball and track.
I know it's when the more they move, the more problems become.
And just a brief resume for me. I also went to Creekside Elementary School and transferred into Liberty Middle School, so I've known Tyler for a while. Freshman year I took technical drawing and I used the same programs, so SolidWorks and SoftPlan, which is an architectural program. Sophomore year I took architectural drawing with Tyler and we used ArchiCAD, which is the program we used senior year as well. Junior year I took interior design and everything was by hand, so we didn't use a program, we just had to draw it. And then senior year I'm taking senior projects and we're using ArchiCAD. And then for extracurricular activities, I was in Key Club my freshman and sophomore year, and then my junior and senior year I've been part of the varsity pong program, and then this year I was in athletic council as well.
So here's a list of my advisors. Alexa and I both share Keith Stoller, who is the Vice President of Lead Architecture and Interior Designs. Unfortunately, he could not be here, but he's really helped us along our project, telling us, giving us pointers on what we can do differently about our projects. For our second expert advisor, we have Catherine Wolf, who is Alexa's aunt. She is an ecology teacher and has really been helping us with the sustainable side of our design. For my support advisors, I have my mom, Sherry Hugg, Mr. Ridland, who is the architectural teacher here, Alexa Lehrer, who is my lovely partner, and Andrew Peffer, who is a fellow friend and senior projects classmate.
My advisor list is pretty much the same. I have Mr. Zoller, my aunt, Catherine Wolf, who's helped me a lot, I know. Our support advisors, Tyler Duggan, who's my project partner, Mr. Ridland, who's the architecture teacher, and then my mom and dad. And also, I know he's not an advisor, but Christian Frank helped me like the entire year. So. Okay, so this is our logo. So we called it cutting edge architecture because we want it to be very modern, sleek, and that's sort of where we came up with the design. I had two different designs at the beginning, but I went around the class and took a poll, and everyone liked this one better. And so we wanted to make it green, so everything in it is green because of the ecological side of our project. We wanted to make it sharp, so it looks really clean cut, almost like a diamond, because we wanted everything to be modern. We have a lot of I have a lot of windows in mine. Tyler was half his project is full of windows, so that's why we have the sharp aspect of it. And then it sort of looks like a leaf, also for the ecological side of the project.
All right, so at this point you're probably wondering, what are Alexa and I's project? So for my side of the project, I wanted to design a LEED certified airport in Bora Bora. Alexa wanted to design a resort. So coming in, we wanted it to be modern, sleek, cutting edge, LEED certified, and ecologically sustainable.
So these are our very initial sketches. Tyler's is awesome, but I'm not really an artist. So mine, I wanted to be at the beginning, two prongs. I wanted to have a sort of garden at the top. I wanted a balcony off of it. I wanted pillars. Some of that worked out, some of it didn't. And change from this. And these are our final designs. So from the very beginning to the very end. But we're going to show you a little bit about how we got there.
So coming into the project, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to design an airport. I didn't know where I wanted to design it, and I didn't know how. So after stumbling across Bora Bora in our research, it finally clicked. The biggest inspiration for my airport was the manta ray. It's an indigenous species to Bora Bora, but is going extinct. So as you can see from the manta ray's curvature in the mouth, that's really what I based my model around. I also really like this example of this building. I like the curvature and how it incorporated green design into it. So pretty much the curvature of that building, along with the manta ray, really inspired my project.
Okay, so the main inspiration for my project was the picture on the top left. I was in Singapore a couple of years ago, and I saw this building, and I loved architecture even then. I thought it was amazing. It's a hotel as well. I liked the prongs involved in it, and then there's that huge boat at the top, which is actually a park, and it's got pools in it. It's awesome. I've looked at different pictures of it. I never got to go on top, and it's so beautiful, so I decided to base my entire design off of that. Also, this building, it's got an infinity pool in it. My hotel also has an infinity pool. And it just has a lot of big windows, and it's very modern and sleek. And then this one has the grass on the roof. Mine has grass on the roof, which is one of the lead points. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, Tyler's has grass on his roof as well.
So coming into the project, I had 5 main objectives. My first objective was to expand my knowledge on green and sustainable design. My second objective was to design a sustainable airport. My third objective was to build a model of this airport. My fourth objective was to obtain a LEED certification for the airport. And finally, my fifth objective was to understand how clean energies work.
Mine are sort of the same. So I wanted to expand my knowledge on ArchiCAD. I used it sophomore year, but we did similar things. We just had to build a house and not a resort. So I needed to expand my knowledge on that in order to build this design. I wanted to design a modern and sustainable resort. That was sort of the entire project. Create a scale model. I did that as well. That took a long time, a lot more time than I expected it to. And then achieve a LEED certification for the resort. Right now we're at a silver certification, so I would say I achieved that. And understand hotel regulations. So I just wanted to know what goes into a hotel, what are the main things that almost every hotel has, and that's part of my research later on.
All right, research. So like I said earlier, Alex and I didn't know where exactly we wanted to build. Then we stumbled upon Bora Bora. This fit both of our needs. As you can see, our projects and buildings are kind of separated. My airport is in the northern tip of Bora Bora, while hers is in the southeastern tip. This kind of worked out for us because for LEED certification, one of the points we can get is developing on a previously developed site. So the airport fit. As far as Alexa's resort, the southern eastern tip was perfect for hers because it was secluded and not yet developed, which is perfect for her resort.
Okay, so this is personal research. So a couple years ago when I was in middle school, I read Cradle to Cradle, and we used that book, if you remember it, it's a long word book, but I remember this chapter we read that compares a building to a cherry tree, and so I looked up that chapter and I pulled out the main parts of it. So you need large tinted windows, so large windows to let light in, but you want them tinted so that it doesn't heat up, sort of acting like a greenhouse, and then costs go up after that, so you want them tinted so that the costs go down. Windows stay shut during the day and open at night, so if they're open at night, then the cold air comes in and it'll stay in there, and then if you close them during the day, then the cold air won't escape, and then your heating and cooling costs go down tremendously. A grass roof is also, with the heating and cooling, it cools down the building a lot. Rooftop skylights let in more light. Of course, they're going to have to be tinted as well, but it creates a better environment for the resort and the airport because we want them to be very natural. Inviting to indigenous species. This is a huge part on not having a footprint. We wanted to make sure that species were not endangered more because of our project, and so once we invite indigenous species back to the resort or the airport, then we're not killing their environment, they can still live there. And then natural views, it's Bora Bora, you're not going to be make it much more natural than that. And pleasant places to eat, work, and converse. That just keeps everyone happy. The amount of light keeps the whole environment in the resort and the airport up, and it creates for a great environment.
So you've probably heard Alexa and I refer to LEED several times throughout this presentation. For those of you who don't know what LEED is, in simple terms, it's your ecological scorecard. Pretty much how environmentally friendly you are and how sustainable you are. It's broken down into 4 different categories. You have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. To research this, we had to go through about 100 pages that had bulleted points of possible points we could get for this. How we did this is we labeled points in green that we knew we could get. We labeled points in blue that maybe we'll see at the end of the project. And points in red, there's no chance we're going to get, so we're not going to really try it to get them. At the end of our project, I achieved 43 points and Alexa achieved 41. This combines to a grand total of a silver standard, which is not too shabby for your first time using LEED.
And the only reason Taylor has 2 more points than me is because he built on top of the other airport and I didn't, so that's what Okay, so these are examples of LEED points. So this is a green example. So this is something that we could easily have obtained or we've already obtained it. So this example is about bike racks. So that's easy. We added a couple bike racks. We got that point. Okay, so this example is about potable water. I don't know very much about potable water in resorts, so I probably need a couple more months of research in order to figure out if we can get this point. But I'm confident that if we had a couple more months, we could possibly get these points, but we only included green points in our final total, so the 41 and 43. And then red is something that we will never be able to get. So Bora Bora is an endangered species habitat. There's lots of different species actually that are endangered there. And so since we built on it, technically that's a point, and so we'll never be able to get that one, at least in Bora Bora.
All right, now time for my progress throughout the year. So this was my initial design. This is about a month into the class. As you can see, this is the first floor of my design. It incorporates a lot of curvature and as well as entrances. This is then about a couple weeks after designing the first floor. As you can see, I couldn't really tell what I wanted to do with the second floor. I didn't know if I wanted to offset from the first story and make like a deck for people to walk to, or if I wanted to make it line up perfectly. Finally, I decided on offsetting it from the first story so that people had a walkway to get around the second floor of the airport. And this is just a side view of my resort with the roof. As you can see, I incorporated a green roof design. What this does is essentially cut down the cost of heating and cooling because it traps air inside of the building and keeps other air out. I then installed double pane windows. Part of it's cut off, or I guess double painted tinted windows, sorry. So the double pane windows pretty much do the same as the grass roof. They keep warm air and cool air in the building. And then Alex and I both incorporated indigenous plants to our project. What this really does, it cuts down on the need to water our plants because these plants that we're using are hardy indigenous plants that are used to the climate and don't need water from us. So this is my final project. This is a rendered view. This rendered view took an hour and a half to load, just a single picture, so it was a lot of just waiting and watching it. But yeah, this is it. As you can see, I installed solar panels to the top, as well as other features. So this first picture is just a layout of my first floor plan. Inside, you can see how this right here is the baggage claim. This is where people go and get their bags, obviously. In here, this is a storage area for the airport. They can keep anything they need, carts, other miscellaneous objects. And then up here, this is a terminal for smaller planes. So I have a terminal upstairs as well as downstairs. The downstairs terminal allows for passengers who are arriving in the party on smaller Cessna and 6-passenger planes, because it's unpractical to have them upstairs where they can just, or instead they can go downstairs and walk straight onto the tarmac. All right, this is the floor plan of my second model. Here you can see the entrance, and then on either side that is security. If any of you have been to Park Meadows, right after the food court, they have 2 escalators and an elevator that leads down to the second story. That's kind of where I modeled my second story on. There's a big open area right here for people to go up and down. And then this is the third story of my airport. As you can see, I incorporated solar panels. It's a lot of them. That will supply some power to the airport, cutting down on electrical costs. And then again, this is just a picture of the manta ray, what I modeled my airport off of. As you can see, the curvature of the manta ray aligns with both the front and the back of my airport. All right, so this is just the some features of the airport. This is the baggage claim area. Here you can see the escalators and elevators I was talking about, as well as the view into the second story. This is the second story walkway. Here passengers can hang out, enjoy the nice weather, and pretty much just have space to do whatever they want. This is a rendering of the interior of my airport. This is the entrance where people will go to check in and pretty much put their bags in check and all that. This is the security feature of my airport. The interesting thing about this, ArchiCAD, the program we used, didn't have any security features. So what I had to do is pretty much build these security features with slabs. So pretty much the same thing I made the floor out of, I just had to make them by myself. And then this is, here you can see the first floor terminal for the larger big planes like the 747s, as well as the downstairs terminal for the smaller Cessnas and private jets people will be using to get on and off the planes. Then here, this is just another image from the other side of the second story walkthrough. Here you can see my escalators and stairs that lead up to the second floor, as well as the water feature that I have incorporated into my design. And then this is just my solar panels on the roof, just showing how they're laid out and pretty much how many there are. And then this is just a picture of the outside. This is what it would look like walking up to the airport. You can see there's benches around that little tree area, as well as elevators right here to get up to the second floor. This is the food court. This is where people will probably be spending most of their time. So pretty much just a seating area, a bar, seating up by the window so you can look out and see the airplanes and whatnot. And then just another image of the outside of my airport.
Okay, so this is my progress throughout the year. I started off with a very basic design. So I don't have any windows in this, just doors. I do have interior walls, but no doors inside. So it's very average right now. And then you can see there's a square pool. That's going to change a little bit. The square pool again. And you can see the back, very boring, and yellow, very yellow. And I added a couple windows in the back for the lobby, but that was it. And you can see right here that there are stairs in there. I did add stairs and the glass wall. Okay, so just a little further on, I added all the railings, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be because I had to individually place each one. I couldn't mirror them in the program. I don't know why they took that out from my sophomore year. I added a little bit of color, so the second floor is a little bit different than the rest of the yellow. And the back changed to an infinity pool instead of just a regular square pool. I like that design a lot better. And then I changed these walls into completely glass walls. These are the first rendered views I took, so this is halfway through the year. I added a little bit of siding around the edges. I changed all of the railings so that they were glass panels. I added the solar panels to the top. There's some furniture at the top as well. And I added the garden at the top, which will be used in the cafe at the bottom. This is the back rendered view, pretty much the same thing. So I also added a green roof, which is a leaf weight. And then I also added the garden to it. Solar panels, which just reduce cost. Double pane tinted windows like Tyler to keep out light. And then window shades, which is something my expert advisor, the ecology teacher, told me to do because they cut down on the cost because they let less light in through the windows, even though you can still have big windows for to like look out. And that helped a lot. They've got little slits in them so that they can open and close based on the time of the day. So after my mid-year presentation, I started with this one. So I started adding more details. You can see the ping pong tables. I added chairs out here. And then the back, I added more chairs, umbrellas, and then I started adding things on the inside. So you can't really tell at this moment, but there is furniture on the inside. And I added chairs all along the sides. And this is my very final project. I added ground, I added trees, more furniture. You can see there's ping pong tables, but I changed these to tables, hot tubs, there's a bar right there, more tables and chairs on the outside. I added a little fire pit, more tables, and you can see I added more to this area, the pool area. And you can start to see, if you noticed last time, there was nothing in these walls, and now there are tables, and that's the ballroom, that's the spa area, so there are just more details being added. Okay, so I'm going to go through my floor plans. So this is my first floor plan. So this is the very entrance, and we have a double staircase going in, and you walk through it. This is the reception desk, and there's another one over here. This is the cafe, because you're sort of in the middle of nowhere, so you need somewhere to eat. And then this is the kitchen for the cafe. That's why there's a little opening right here. We've got elevators on both sides, since there are two prongs to it, you can see. And these are staircases. Stair shops right now, but they're good pieces. The store, again, because you're in the middle of nowhere, so if you forget sunscreen or something, you need to go somewhere. And then this is the energy and storage. The second floor plan, so this whole circle is open, so you can look down onto the first floor, and you can see that you saw those big windows on the 3D, so they reach up all the way into this level. Over here is like the gaming area. We have public restrooms right here. Again, stair shafts and elevator shafts. And then we've got computers that have Wi-Fi on them, since you're in Bora. We've got a pool table, foosball table, and then this is the entrance for the spa. So this is the gym, and then there's 2 rooms for massages. And then also there are stairs going up from each level of the floor, and there are doors so that you come in from the stairs. And then this is the ballroom for weddings, parties, anything like that. The third floor starts with the rooms. So these are the most basic of the rooms. So they just have a bed and rug, basic things that you see in every hotel room. TVs, a dresser. They each have bathrooms to them. That's the only thing I didn't get to is designing the bathrooms. So they don't have anything in them. And then we have the first floor of the pool deck, you would say. So these are the ping pong tables, the hot tubs, the bar, the stairs, and the extra tables. And then there are also public restrooms here for all the pool goers. And then this is just a hallway. Okay, so this is the second deck to the pool area. So you have the infinity pool over here, more chairs, seating, and then the rooms are exactly the same. The rooms get a little bigger here, and then you can see from my model that they have little passages going between them. So that's what this is, the passage. And then this is a room, and it's bathroom, and another slightly bigger room, and it's bathroom, and then again, just a public hallway. Okay, so it has another passage in between it, public hallway, and then the rooms are getting bigger. So this is the 7th floor and the 8th floor. So every 2 floors have the same. So the 3rd and 4th have the small rooms, the 5th and 6th have the larger rooms, and then the 7th and 8th have these ones. So this is just one big grand suite. So the bedroom, and then it's got its own little dinette, and a kitchen, a small kitchen, a seating area, and a bigger bathroom. And then there's one on the other side as well. This is the penthouse, so the 9th floor. There's a penthouse on each side, and the only reason it doesn't have a walkway through it is because they're completely penthouses, like there's no public hallway, I would say. So you would want to be going from one side to the other. So this includes a dining area. They have a lot more balcony space than any of the other rooms. So there's a balcony here, a balcony on the side, balcony on the bottom. It's got its own room, its own walk-in closet, a huge bathroom, a grand piano, a bigger seating area, another little dinette right there, and then a bigger kitchen as well. And then the rooftop garden is pretty simple. Rectangles are the solar panels, and then there's seating, and then these are the plants. And as I said earlier, the plants grown there are going to be used in the cafe, which is another suggestion from my expert advisor. Okay, so these are the features. So this is the main lobby. You can sort of see out into the bonfire area, and then over to the right, you can see that there's the staircase going to the 2nd floor, and that's the cafe as well. This is the ballroom, so for weddings and stuff. This is the gaming area on the 2nd floor. You can sort of see the railing here, which looks down onto the 1st floor, which is right over here. The football table, the pool table, and then the computer area. And then you can see sort of the entrance of the resort. It's got huge waterfalls coming down, and there are plants at the bottom as well. This is the gym. It's pretty basic. This is the pool area. Again, you can see the bar, the hot tubs, the ping pong tables, the chairs, and then the back, and so you just walk up and down. This whole area is a pool area. And then the bathrooms are, if you walk into those doors, those are public bathrooms. This is the smallest of the rooms. You can see it's pretty simple. It looks like probably a normal hotel room, but I liked the blue because it's modern. It reminds me of the ocean. And that's its balcony on the side. This is a slightly larger room. It's got a seating area, but it's got pretty much the same features. This one's awkward because it's like in the shape of an L, so I couldn't figure out how to get one view over everything. It's sort of the corner, but over to the side is the seating area, and there's a computer area over there, and then on the other side is the bed and the TV and everything. This is a slightly larger room, so through that door would be the bedroom, and that bedroom has a door into the bathroom. This is another door into the bathroom, and then just the seating area, the computer area, the kitchen, and then over to the side would be the seating area. And then this is the penthouse, just one corner of it, so you can see right now. This is sort of the part of the bedroom. The seating area is at the bottom, and you can see the TV and everything. The kitchen's on the side, and then if you walk past that corner, that's where the dining room is. And then you can sort of see the balcony through that door. Okay, so our models, you can see right now, the technology we used was ArchiCAD, the lasers, and the big printer. So we used ArchiCAD to lay out all the laser cuts for them, and then we used the lasers. We set them up with the laser cuts that we printed out in ArchiCAD, and they laser printed all of the foam door. And then the big printers were for so we can cut out all the pictures that you can see on the side of our models. And materials, we both used foam core, artificial grass at the top of it, wood sticks. I used a lot more than Tyler did. It took me about 2 weeks to make all of these railings just alone. The paint, he used slightly different paint than I did, but they're both for water features. Paper for the pictures, hot glue to get everything holding up, super glue, which I used for the wood sticks, and the artificial plants, which were those.
And then throughout this model process, Alexa was on schedule, so she budgeted about a month and a half to build her model. Unlike me, I was fairly behind, so I tried to crank my model out in a weekend, and I spent like 20 hours on it one weekend, and then probably an additional 10 hours that following week. So this is just a brief project timeline throughout the year. In the month of October, I planned on finishing the exterior of my airport. As you can see, it's green. That means I got it done. Red means it wasn't done. So green is good. In November, I planned on finishing my research and start designing the first level of my airport. I got that done. Check that off the list. In December, I planned on finishing designing the first level of the airport, as well as start designing the second level. I got that done. So then after first semester, that's kind of where I got off track. The second level of my airport took a lot longer than I anticipated. I originally planned on finishing the design of the airport and start working on the model with Alexa. That January timeline really got pushed down all the way to April, so it's pretty far off, yeah, I know. And then February as well, the model clearly was not finished on my part. Alexa was about halfway done, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
In March, I planned on putting my finishing designs into the airport. This is really when I finished the complete design. I never really got to the interior in March, which is what I planned on doing. That again got pushed down to April. So as you can tell, April was a very busy month, but I got everything done. So my roadblocks. Determining a scale. So Alexa's model is in the 1/8 scale. I thought I could put mine in the 1/16 scale and it wouldn't be that big. So I printed out a couple sections of that. It turned out that made it 20 feet long. so then I put that down in half to the 1/16. That again, put it in half obviously. So that made it 10 feet. Scratch that. Then finally, I thought I would do the 1/32 scale, making it 5 feet long. This seemed fairly reasonable. So I got all my walls printed out and I started building it. But after starting building it, I realized it was a bit excessive to have a 5-foot model. So that's when I got to the 1/64 scale, and it turned out to be that. Another roadblock was windows. So in my timeline, I originally planned on spending maybe a week and a half installing Windows. It turned out Windows are a very tedious and time-consuming process. So it took me about a month and a half to install all my windows. You have to pretty much go in and line them up one by one. And I wanted them to be symmetrical, so on one side the same as the other. So that really took a long time. Then curved walls for my design and my model. My design seems fairly simple. It's not amazingly complex, but the curved walls presented somewhat of an issue. So in order to get our elevation views, you need flat walls, and clearly my airport has no flat walls. So essentially what I had to do was rebuild my entire airport with flat walls, and again install all the windows and doors, so this took another month out of the time frame. And then like I said, the elevations for the model, I had to build straight walls again for my airport. Then my walkthrough, this happened a couple days ago. My walkthrough is playing right now. It's just the exterior. I originally had it going into the interior, going upstairs and then downstairs and back out. I waited for about 2 hours for this to load and render, and it didn't save. So at this point, I scratched that and just did the exterior because that took again another half an hour for it to load.
Okay, so my timeline's all great. But things got switched around a little bit, but it all got done at the end. So in October, finished website and began research for Resort. I got that all done. Lead actually took a lot longer than we expected. I thought maybe it would be maybe 20 pages, maybe a little bit more, and it was about 100 pages, like Tyler said. And then we had to go through, read every single one word for word, and then see if we could possibly do that. And that also includes extra research because it doesn't say everything. So if I'd say, if you want to know if yours has an instinct animal on it, then you have to go to this webpage, and you go, and you have to look more. So it took a long time. And then in November, finish research for Resort and begin working on first levels of Resort. I got that all done. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take, actually, so it sort of made up in time because I could just copy and paste all of the walls further and further up because they were all the same from the third level on. Finished design for top and finalized all floor plans. I did finish all floor plans by this time. It did take me longer. I had to come in a couple extra class periods, but I did finish it by this time. In January, I did begin working on the scale model, but we ran into a couple of problems, which I'll talk about later. So the model took a lot longer than I expected. So January sort of went into February, but I finished it by the end of February. And then finished working on scale model and finalized and begin interior design of Resort. I didn't really begin the interior design of Resort until March because of the scale model, but it did get done at the end. March, finished all interior design details. That's when I had to come in a lot of extra class periods and finish all the interior design aspects. I sort of got that done because everything had interior design except the bathrooms, like I said earlier. And then April, create PowerPoint for final presentation and get ready to present. And the walkthrough, I got that done. Same thing, my walkthrough was a little shorter than I expected, but it took about half an hour just to download that, and so I can't even imagine what it would be like if I went through 10 floors. So that's as far as I got. Okay, so my roadblocks. Store settings, this was at the very beginning of the project. When you're in ArchiCAD, you have to say how tall your walls are, and since I had never worked with walls so tall before, it took a lot longer for me to figure out, and I had to get Mr. Ridland to help me figure out what the store settings were supposed to be. Curved walls for model, that was the same thing. I ended up using a different technique than Tyler did because mine was bigger. So I'm going to turn this around. Okay, so you can see sort of the curved walls on this. What I did is I made flat walls in ArchiCAD, just like Tyler did, and then printed them out on pieces of paper. The difference was is I put them on poster board that could bend, and then I glued them on there, and I don't know why, but they took it out of the new version, and so I had to hand place every single window in my resort, and there are a lot, probably not as much as Tyler's, but there are a lot, and so I had to take lines, dimension them, so if it was 2 feet from this wall on this side, it has to be 2 feet from this wall on the other side, and I had to do that for every single story because you can't drag them up. It took way longer than I expected. Laser cuts. When I started making my model, as I said, it took longer than I expected because I could not figure out how to get the laser to work. I have used it before, but when I went to transfer my designs onto the laser, it came up in a format that it wouldn't recognize my prints. And so I had to get Mr. Ridland over again, and he helped me figure out what the problem was. We just had to save it so that there was the right documentation on the regular computer, and then we transferred it over to the lasers. It had to be about 2 extra weeks. And then object default settings. So at the very end, I started adding in furniture, and I thought it was really great. And then I realized about halfway through that everything was gray. I don't know why I didn't notice that earlier. And so again, Mr. Ridland had to help me, and I figured out that every single object had object default settings on it to have it in nickel, so everything was made out of metal. And so I had to go back through and replace those because they were all made out of metal.
All right, this is our bibliography. After this, we will be opening it up for questions.
How much would it cost to build the project?
So for my airport, if we were to build this in real life, it would be in the ballpark of $400 million. I know that sounds like a lot, but comparatively to DIA, which was $4.8 billion, $2 billion over budget, it barely makes a dent in that.
And then mine would be about $25 million, and that seems like a lot. It's really not for a
How much power does the solar panel supply to the actual airport?
That's a really good question. Alexa and I, we didn't really get that far into the research. We wanted to. Solar panels would not be our main power source. We also will be using hydropower since we're so close to the ocean. So we can really tap into tidal waves in the power. Yeah, whenever you go to a different country, you always have to go through customs. So I don't have that in my interior right now. Because of all my roadblocks, I didn't get as far into my interior as I wanted, but I did get the main things that I needed.
Avery?
Would it be possible for you guys to go up a level of LEED certification, or are you limited based on kind of a type of structure?
So all the points that we got in LEED were just the green points that we got right away. So we didn't factor in the blue points that we could have got later on if we actually were to build this, or if we didn't even really go back to look at them because we were certified.
And our blue points, they would, if we got, like, let's say we got every single blue point, they would go up to platinum. But it just depends on how many blue points we can get.
How much were your hotel costs to stay at?
Oh, okay, so I have the pamphlets in the back, if you want to check it out. It's like as if like it was built and you were going to go stay there. When I was looking it up, because I wasn't quite sure, the cheapest hotel I could find was $1,800 a night in Bora Bora, and which is a lot. But those are mostly the ones that like go out into the water and they're like cabins on the water. And so since mine is just a building, I made it a little cheaper. So I think my cheapest one is $1,000 a night, and the penthouse is $2,500 a night. Yes.
Speaking of time, how much time would you guys have put into looking into the environmental impact of your projects, considering, as you said, that Bora Bora is an endangered species environment?
So we pretty much spent like a month going through the LEED certification, and LEED pretty much deals with all those environmental impacts. We would have liked to have done more like research regarding plant life and animal life. We know, like as I mentioned earlier, manta rays are endangered there, but our stuff wouldn't hinder their life at all. Other things, believe it or not, that are endangered there are snails. I guess they have a large snail population in Bora Bora.
But since we're like inviting indigenous species back, hopefully not that big of a footprint. That's like the whole lead stuff. We want to reduce the footprint as much as we possibly can.
Let's go one more.
Sure.
What's an infinity pool?
Oh, okay. So an infinity pool is like a pool. It's really cool. It's made out of glass on the outside and it like spills over onto the side. So I probably have, let's see, like a filter on the bottom right here. I would catch all of the water so it breaks back up. It just keeps it rotating. So it just looks like it like never ends almost. That's why it's called infinity.